Hey, this is really crazy video that people are up in arms about because it is just so whacked out. This is video from July 31st. So the video is a month old, just over a month old, but it somehow flew under the radar until yesterday. Donald Trump did a roundtable on July 31st with the National Association of Police Organizations leadership as a protest of as a sort of counter programming when protests of police brutality were raging in the United States at the time. And very similarly to Trump's recent statements about what happened in Kenosha, about what's going on in Portland, Trump at this event generalized that the protesters are the violent anarchists and they are determined to assault police officers. Police officers are in danger. Police officers are the victims, despite, of course, being the ones who hold the power in the power dynamic that exists with law enforcement. And Trump went off on a tangent about protesters throwing things, frozen bottles of water, bricks, whatever. And then Trump went into a 1 minute long bizarre attack on cans of soup and bags of soup. What the hell is a bag of soup? The video somehow slipped under the radar back on July 31st. It is something else. Take a look at this.
It's water. And then they have cans of soup. And they throw the cans of soup. That's better than a brick because you can't throw a brick. It's too heavy. But a can of soup, you can really put some power into that, right?
Yes, sir.
And then when they get caught, they say, no, this is soup for my family. They're so innocent. This is soup for my family. It's incredible. And you have people coming over with bags of soup, big bags of soup, and they lay it on the ground, and the anarchists take it and they start throwing it at our cops, at our police. And if it hits you, that's worse than a brick because it's got force. It's the perfect size. It's like made perfect. And when they get caught, they say, no, this is just soup for my family. And then the media says, this is just soup. These people are very, very innocent. They're innocent people. These are just protesters. Isn't it wonderful to allow protesting? No. And by the way, the media knows it better than we do. They know what's going on. I don't know what's wrong with them. They're doing our country a
So the extra component of bags of soup is just extra funny. It reminds me of when Trump, in one of those montages for the RNC, interviewed workers who had recovered from COVID. And one worker said, I'm a custodian at the post office. And Trump said, what do you do? And it was just one of these moments where Trump is just so out of touch, where he doesn't understand what a custodian does. You know, most people who grew up in normal childhoods know what a custodian does or did, particularly if you're proficient in English. And this is a similar moment where Trump throws in bags of soup. Now, I have seen pouches, Manischewitz. You can get a sort of pouch of the dry ingredients, which then you mix with water. But I don't know that Trump is talking about those Manischewitz pouches when he talks about bags of soup. But listen, I guess we have to take seriously the weaponization of soup. I've always actually been a little suspicious of so-called alphabet soup. That sounds weird to me. I don't know that seems a little bit dangerous to me. Of course, you can only bag certain soups, like a bisque probably does not lend itself to being bagged. But I've had a bag of chowder before. Both Manhattan and New England style clam chowder really, really work well in a bag. This actually really is the exact type of Trump going somewhere in his mind where we can't tell whether it's a joke or something is wrong with him. And of course, Trump has no sense of humor. So we very quickly end up at like, something seems to be very, very wrong with this guy. It's a delusional rant about weaponized soup. And then, by the way, worse than bricks, like on the facts, I don't think that Trump is actually correct. And if you step back for just a moment, if this was your relative, wouldn't you immediately say they need a full neuropsych eval? Like when we interviewed Dr. Bandy Lee, I guess it was 3 weeks ago now, 3 weeks ago. And she said, the symptoms are there to warrant a neuropsych eval. Doesn't mean you're diagnosing anything, but there's enough going on where you would want that. Does this qualify? Because this seems very, very strange. And It would be weird if it was anybody in your family. It happens to be the president of the United States. And as usual, it's like, yeah, people wrote to me about how funny this is. It is funny. It's funny in a superficial way. But once we're the laughing stock of the world and we're the pity of the world, it's not really all so funny anymore. And it actually hasn't been funny for a long time. Will we ever know the full truth of what is behind rants like these? Does anybody after the fact say, hey, Mr. President, sir, as he likes to say, the material about weaponized bags of soup, that was not so good. That doesn't really resonate with people. My belief at this point, given what we know about Trump's personality, is that the people around him aren't willing to go up to him and say that. We know that anybody who's willing to say to Trump what you're saying doesn't make any sense, they don't last very long. And we've seen more than 500 people move on from this administration over the last 4 years. I just don't think it's welcome at all. If you've been watching the show, you've probably heard me talk about how much I love my Helix mattress. Well, I was really excited to hear that Helix has launched a new company called Allform, which makes premium, customizable sofas and chairs with the same level of quality and comfort that I expect from these guys. And Allform is one of our sponsors today. They're giving you 20% off at allform.com/Pakman. They actually sent me a couch which I put in my living room at home. It's now my favorite piece of furniture in the house. It took me just minutes to set it up. It's solidly built. It's huge. It's roomy. It has a modern minimalist design, which I love, but it's also very comfortable. Fabric is soft, clearly very high quality. It has become the focal point of my living room. Their prices are very reasonable. And when you get a new sofa or chair, you get 100 days to decide if you want to keep it. And the best part is everything comes with a lifetime warranty. Stop buying poorly made furniture. Go to customize your own Allform sofa or chair right now and get 20% off your entire order when you get there by going to allform.com/Pakman. I've also put the link right underneath this video.